Good afternoon. This is Chair Brian Haggerty of the El Paso Board of Trustees. I'm going to call the order of the meeting for Facilities and Finance to start at 4 o'clock this afternoon. To get into the conference, you need to dial our access code 145-746-2256. And you can also go to youtube.com/GoEPCC. And any member of the public wishing to make a comment or a question regarding an agenda item can email the comments or questions to the following email address: boardquestions@epcc.edu. I'd like to welcome everybody. Pam, could you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Uxer.
Here.
Ms. Sanchez. Ms. Sanchez. Mrs. Robles. Present. Dr. Graham. Present. Ms. Nahara.
Present.
Ms. Pena.
Present.
Mr. Haggerty.
Present. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you read item number 5, please?
Item 5, discussion items. Item 5.1, Mr. Paulo Perez, Program Manager, ECM, will provide an update briefing on the progress of the Combined Fee Revenue Improvement Bonds Series 2016 program. The briefing items will include, but are not limited to, a general update, including schedule and budget for all 6 projects, as well as an overall bond schedule and budget update.
Are you online, Mr. Pettis?
Yes, sir. Ready to start.
You have the floor. It's all yours.
See, everybody can see my screen.
Yes. Thank you.
Dr. Serrata, Chair Haggerty, and board members, good afternoon. It's good to be talking with everybody. So you'll know there's no action items in the agenda. So I took the liberty of including some extra pictures so you can see how good the buildings are looking along. And we'll start with mission. And Mr. Uxer, as much as I hate to admit it, you were correct. They are not done by August 15th. But they are supposedly, I got a phone call this afternoon saying they were ready today. We still have to verify it. I suspect by Friday they should be done, substantially complete. And we are going to get the remaining items will be AV, would be civil landscaping, and those items, we're going to be punching them on September 3rd. You can tell this picture here is of the main entry, looking towards the southeast, I'm sorry. This is the view from the back, and you can see the large balcony on the 2nd floor. This is a picture in the evening, and you can see the main campus to the left. This one here is another night shot of the main entrance. This is a typical classroom. Right now, if you just walk through the building, it looks pretty much complete. The only exception is the wood bleachers that still need to be finished, and you'll see that just in a minute. This is the large conference room. This is just a typical restroom. This room.
I hate to interrupt. Is all furniture in place?
Sir?
Is all the furniture in the building?
All the furniture is in the building. The only one not installed yet is on those, and I'll show you in a minute, the nuke areas, you know, the public areas. That's the only area because they're still installing a little partition. And when I get to that, I'll show you that. Other than that, all the furniture is in place.
Thank you.
So this here is the anatomy lab. This is the area we were just talking about, Mr. Haggerty. These partitions here, hopefully you can see my pointer here. These partitions are like that over here, and they can tell they're already building it. And this was taken last Thursday, mind you. So I'm sure it's already in place. But then that's when the furniture guys will come in and install the furniture that goes in those areas. So those areas, as of last Friday, they were not in place yet. The furniture was not in place. This is the Flexitorium, and this is a picture I took with the seats all closed. So you can see it's a big room. And then when you open them, you know, they take a lot of the room, but you can see there's a lot of seating there for all the students. And up on top, you can see the actual projectors. They'll be projecting on the screen. This area is in the second floor. It's near the lobby area, and to your left is the conference room, the medium-sized conference room that overlooks the lobby. And here's the lobby, and this is what I was talking about. Let me pull my pointer up again. So these wood bleachers are complete, but they still have to finish them. In other words, right now it's just the raw wood. They have to go in there and sand them all down and stain them. So that's not done yet, as well as this middle rail here. All these rails here need a wood cap that the contractor missed, so they have to order it. But other than that, that's pretty much what we're missing in terms of architectural work to be done.
And when is that part completed?
The wood one, well, let me tell you, the plan for this area was to be completed by this coming Friday. Unfortunately, I just talked to their project director this morning, and he said those guys that were working on it, as of last Friday, one guy went in for about 45 minutes, and now they disappeared. So he's been trying to call them to a point that he's actually harassing them, but he cannot. He's text, he's called. He said he's been doing it regularly enough that he's hoping he'll make him mad and call him back. But so far, he hasn't had much luck. So I would suspect if he can get those guys back in there by tomorrow morning, he'll probably maybe another week. I suggested to him if they can come just to find another sub, which obviously might take a little time. So right now, to answer your question, I honestly don't know, because I don't know when they'll be able to get back. And if they don't come back, I don't know how long it'll take them to hire somebody else to finish it up. So this is the view of the back of the building from the drone, and it's as you can tell, there's a bit of this was done 2 weeks ago, so a lot more has been done since then, but it's still lacking a bit. Mostly the lake, not the lakes, the pond, the retention ponds, and the landscaping still needs some work. I honestly haven't had the chance to look at it since last Friday, but my understanding is that that part of the work, they got people working on it, and it's progressing nicely. And we're supposed to do a walkthrough, actually already sent an invite for September 3rd. And that includes AV too. We had a couple of issues with AV that they still need to correct. And we're hoping they can get those done by September 3rd. But hopefully the large majority of that will be done by then. And I put a little asterisk there by the installation of the sidewalk, because there's Flintco is going to have to go get a surveyor, and I honestly don't know if they did that today. Not as of this morning, hadn't done yet. There's a couple of sidewalks. The slope seems to be a little more than that's allowed by the accessibility regulations. And so that's if it doesn't meet the requirements, they'll have to tear it up and build it again. But other than that, we're very close to being done with access to the building. Going on to Rio Grande, this is one of those buildings that it's not moving very fast, but it's sure moving steady. They're making some good, steady progress. Their manpower has been very consistent, and the work they've been doing is quite good. This is a couple of area views here of the building, and as you can tell, the building is pretty much done with the concrete. On the 22nd, which was last Friday, I believe, or Saturday, but last Saturday, they finished the rest of this penthouse here, and let me point that out here. So right here, you can see the penthouse, and there was one floor left, and they've done that. So now, with the exception of the concrete that'll go around the base of the building for the site, they're pretty much done with all concrete, and they're pretty much blowing and going as far as the work on the 6th and 7th floor, as you'll see. So to the right is the 6th floor. You can tell they've done a lot of partitions already, a lot of the mechanical going in. And on the left is the 7th floor, which is running behind the 6th floor, but they've done quite a bit as well. Again, these pictures were taken last Thursday, so I'm sure they've done, this goes pretty fast. And a lot of the skin is in place as well. This is, the view on the right is on the roof, and as you can tell, when I took this picture, they were still getting ready for the last floor of the penthouse. And on the left is the view from the top of the last parking bay. And as you can tell, it's a pretty nice view. As far as the elevator A, which is the elevator that faces Montana from that main entrance, that installation already started, and the stairs also for the stairs over there by that elevator A, it's also near completion. So as far as the schedule, nothing has really changed. We still feel confident that that they should hit the December 14th date, at least at this time. So it seems it's pretty steady, the progress on this project. We're actually hopeful that they'll move a little faster now on the 6th and 7th floor with the finish outs, because the Diversified Interiors, which is the finish out contractor, they're very good. They did a great job at Mission, so we're hoping that they'll continue that at Rio Grande. So as far as the plan versus actual progress in the payments and the S-curve, as you can tell, it dipped a little bit, but at least starting to go parallel to the anticipated progress. And we feel like it should start to close within the next few months. So Valle Verde, this is a great building, and I got to tell you this. I walked last Thursday. I walked through the building, and last Tuesday I walked through the building as well to make a video for the deans. And the thing that came back to mind is we are getting a building with incredible quality, fantastic finishes, incredible, great massing, a lot of expensive materials, and we getting all this for $255 a square foot. My guess, if I was just walking the building, I would say it's at least a $350, $400 square foot building. It's that good, and the quality is that good. So I know it might be a small consolation, but it certainly is a lot of value for the cost. So this is the view of the Flexitorium on the right from the air and from the ground. The same thing with the west facade. You can tell a lot of the landscaping. Actually, most of the landscaping now has gone in. I'll show you in just a minute. This is the first floor, the Flexitorium on the right. On the left is the main lobby that's 2 stories tall and with a mezzanine. This is on the left, it's the balcony that overlooks the architectural building. And on the right is just your typical restrooms. And as you can tell, the finishes are very nice. Here is the wet labs, the chemistry lab on the right, on the 3rd floor, and the biology building on the 2nd floor. The biology room lab in the 2nd floor. And this is the corridor on the third floor, and on the left is that Cisco lab, and you are looking into that smaller room, which is the area where they're going to have all the servers for that Cisco lab. It's amazing the amount of cable that you'll see in those rooms. So here, actually, this is a good one to tell you how much progress they've done in terms of landscaping as well. So this area here was taken 2 weeks ago, and now it's what it looks like. And one thing that, it was a decision of contractors, so they have to do it, but they had, in this project, they put what we felt the landscaping, particularly the trees, when it was too hot, and they try to maintain them, but they lost about 20% that they'll have to replace. On the flip side of that, we have Mission that we with the permission of the college, absolutely with the permission of the college, we asked the bigger trees. We were advised they probably wouldn't even survive the transport, much less, being planted in this heat. So we agreed with the college's permission to wait until September when things start cooling off to have the contractor plant those trees because these are, Dr. Graham, these are the big ones. And we want to make sure the ones is relatively about 3 inches, but these are the bigger ones. And so hopefully we probably won't see them until September, but we're being cautious with that because we don't want to damage those trees.
Do they have a guarantee on them if they do die that we'll get some new ones?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's actually on these, we didn't even have to point it out to them because they, as soon as they saw them start dying, they start ordering new ones. So absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just make sure they're not little itty bitty things.
I certainly will. And I was worried about Mission. So be forewarned that hopefully you'll be very impressed in September.
Okay.
So as far as the schedule, okay, I need to do a little qualifier here to make sure I'm clear. So the contractor said that they, as early as this morning, that they stand by the date of the 19th. And I think they'll be very far along. But the reason I put it here December 7th is because right now, everything has been sliding. They failed, we were ready to move in the furniture and they failed the temporary occupancy inspection. So we weren't able to install the furniture. So I'm telling you the 7th, this is just us estimating that's more reasonable than what we're being told. The good news is that we actually think starting October, we'll be able to start moving in the furniture in there and subsequently the computers and the equipment. So in terms of getting ready for the spring semester, we still think it's doable, even though it's quite a bit late. And while we're talking about being late, and since misery loves company, I want to share with you that we've talked, both Mel and I have talked to UTEP folks and Texas Tech folks and other higher ed folks, and a lot of their projects, particularly their landmark buildings, they're both at 16 months behind. Now, in some cases, there were extenuating circumstances that made them move, but the point is that it seems like everybody's quite a bit behind. That doesn't excuse HV for not being done this one on time, absolutely. But it seems like it's a little prevalent, particularly because of the limited availability of the subcontractors. So as far as their scheduled benchmarks, they missed the building being climatized, so now they're telling us 9/1. The biggest deal about that, obviously, besides being real hot in the building, is that there's a dance floor in there that we'll have to install in the first floor. that we're unable to install it because the wood needs to be climatized. Not unlike what we had at Mission. If you recall, we couldn't do those benches until the building started having air conditioning there. Other than that, the building lighting and the cabling, that's probably our biggest concern right now is the cabling. Make sure they did everything in compliance with the EPCC's guidelines and make sure that the college is ready to go online. The building fire alarms, access control and security, it's all tied in to that IT work. So again, if they apply themselves, yeah, they might be done by mid-October, October 16th, actually, that's what they're being told. But we have a lot of reservations on that. Any questions on Valle Verde? Okay.
Mr. Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have any questions, but, you know, I was thinking, you know what really redeemed you and all the building people that are working with you about the fact that some of these projects are late would be for you all to create a virtual tour of our new facilities and give that to the college. Because,
you know, it's funny you say that. I'm glad you pointed that out because we actually did that just last week. ECM put together a video for the deans at Valle Verde. I think that's a great idea. Would you like us to do something like that for the completed buildings?
yes, but not at additional cost. This would be on you because that's the least you can do since we're so late. I know that it would be something that we could use for, you know, marketing, that we could use it to showcase it to our community, and it would give you all credit as well because your name would be on there as well. But, you know,
Dr. Graham, this is Mel. Can you hear me?
yes.
Well, we have a deal, all right? We'll put something together, and perhaps we'll start with a couple of buildings, make sure that we're doing it to your specs, so to speak.
We can start.
And then we'll go from there. But yeah, we absolutely agree. We've taken good pictures, and we've hired professional photographers, and we've shared these pictures with the college already, so that you could put them into your prints. But yeah, the video is a great idea.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why I was thinking about that, because, you know, in the district, many of the military that are moving into the community are looking at the virtual tours of the facilities for the school district, and that's one of the things that we showcase, that our buildings are so new and so, you know, fresh and all that stuff. So the college should have something like that in place. And since you guys are out there anyway, videotaping and taking pictures and all that, that would be an awesome thing for publicity for the college, and then we'll tag your name at the bottom somewhere.
We'll give it a shot. Hopefully, you'll be okay. Hopefully, you'll be okay with the quality. Again, we're not professional, you know, video camera people, but we'll give it a shot. I mean, sometimes I think that your media department might be more qualified to do something like this. Just again, because they have a steadier hand than we do. But we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot.
Yeah, don't push the responsibility on the college. But one of the things that you have is those pictures of the Mission campus, the construction you've done there. They're amazing. I want to go back to college with, you know, what I'm seeing. I can take classes in those labs and stuff like that. So even that is looking really, really beautiful. So I know you're going to come up with a wonderful product.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll put a requisition mail for a $10,000 video camera. That won't be a problem. Thank you so much, Dr. Graham. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now as far as safety, it's still very good, 744,000 scans, 24 hours. We did have one additional minor incident at Rio Grande. A form fell on the worker's leg. He's in light duty, but he's at work, and anyway, it's just pretty minor. But so overall, it's a great it's a great progress in terms of safety. So as far as the project schedule planner, so what I did from last time, I went ahead and moved Valle Verde to the spring semester of 2021. The Mission El Paso, I'm saying fall mini master, and that I 99.9% sure shouldn't be a problem if the college decides to have any classes there then. And Rio Grande, I'm still leaving the spring mini master 2021. There's no change on that. As far as the overall bond budget update, there's not been any major changes. Overall, the budget, we're still doing quite well, and we're keeping a very close track on the expenses. So hopefully we'll get to a point at the end where there'll be some money to turn back to the college. So this is no change here whatsoever. It still remains the same numbers from our last presentation. Oh, sorry. And that concludes. Now, before I completely conclude, I just want to give you all a heads up that, and it's totally my fault. Last meeting, if you recall, I had an action item about some media, marker boards that acted as doubled as a media items, and it turns out I actually, it's my fault because I rushed into getting that as an action item. The bad news is that I messed up, and it's not really that kind of board. The good news is that was going to be a lot less money. So so basically, it turns out all the deans wanted, they didn't want all that technology. They just wanted more writing surface and a new kind of board that works better for them. So at the next board meeting, just a heads up, I will have a board item that will cancel that board item, and then I'll have a new board item that should be a lot closer. I was trying to get into this board meeting, but I don't want to make the same mistake twice. So we decided to wait, make sure we get our ducks in a row, make sure we got everything correct before we bring it to you next September. And my apologies for that. So other than that, I don't have any questions.
No, I don't think so. You've been really, really good.
Just make Dr. Graham happy.
Well, that made my day. Thank you. All right.
We appreciate your updates.
Thank you. You have a safe week.
Okay. Thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We don't need an executive. Okay. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion made, sir.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I need another aye.
Aye.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I gotta have at least 4. Okay, we're gonna be adjourned and then get set up so we can start the board meeting at
Not till 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. So we'll talk to you guys at 5.